Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video we're going to go over the Dsus chord. So I'm going to show you the most basic way to play it, and then a couple movable shapes that you could use to play this sus chord and any one, since they're movable shapes. And so the voicings I'm going to share with you are probably the most common, but if you want to see a whole bunch of other voicings, check out the Ultimate Chord Finder at guitartricks.com. Before we get into the lesson, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to also tap the bell. Alright, so the most basic D sus chords, and these are just so guitar friendly, is taking our basic D chord. Now a sus chord is taking the note in this chord that makes it major or minor, the third, which is this note on the second fret of the high E string, and we replace the third with either the perfect fourth, which is up 1 fret, or the major second, which is down 2 frets. So then we take our basic D triad, which is root third fifth, and we suspend that third by making it either root perfect fourth fifth or root major second fifth. So here's sus 4, and here's sus 2. They're both D sus chord. And it gives it a more open sound because it's not major or minor, it's ambiguous, right? So these are good chords to use in place of both D minor and D major chords, and you could experiment with putting them in a chord progression. So let's say you had a chord progression that went C, D minor, E minor, G. So I could go C, D sus 2, E minor, G. A little bit of a different sound. Let me try D sus 4. That's just one example. Sus chords are often used where you want one tone in the chord to maybe carry over. So let's say on a C chord, we have that open E string, right? Now if I go to a D chord from a C, and now I can carry over that sound of the open E string, you know? Then I went to an E minor, so it gave it a common tone. Or let's try maybe like a G, a super G, to a C add 9, to a D sus 4. So now I have those common tones. Alright, so the second way I might play it is up with a low E string root. And this is a D sus 4. So we could think about starting from a regular D major chord that looks like this. And what we're going to do is take those, or even thinking of a D power chord. And we take that third and fourth finger and we put them, instead of on strings 5 and 4, counting toes and nose, we put them on strings 3 and 4, the middle 2 strings, up 2 frets from where we have this bar going on. So we have this bar on the 10th fret, and I'm just kind of squeezing and bringing my elbow in and using the side of my finger a little bit so I have some wiggle room, like that, and just kind of do a little bit of a twist. And then we put the ring finger and the little finger on the 12th fret of the middle 2 strings. And then we have, and that is a D sus 4. So now we have root 4th, root 4th, 5th, root. So no third anymore. Whereas if I lifted those two up and just put them each up 1 string, that would be a D minor chord. Then if I put down my middle finger in between all that, on the in-between fret on the 3rd string, that would be D major. So D major, D minor, D sus 4. See, the sus chord is not major or minor because it doesn't have a minor third or a major third. And then the last way that I played it was like this. Or like this. So this way we've got our root on the A string, 5th fret, D. Then we do that power chord shape again. So these two fingers, this grouping, ring finger and pinky, are on the middle two strings on the 7th fret. So index on 5th of the A, then ring on 7th of the D, pinky on 7th of the G, and then we bar this first finger to get 5th on the B and the E. And that is a sus2 chord. And if we think of our major and minor here, this is major, this is minor. So major third, minor third, major second, makes it a sus2. And then if we want to make it a sus4, major third, up 1/2 step to the perfect 4th. So then we bar the 7th fret of strings 2, 3, and 4, put the index down on the 5th fret of the A, and add our pinky to the 8th fret of the B. And there's our sus4. So just remember that the sus4 is up a whole step from a minor third. Minor third, up 2 frets for the sus4. And the sus2 is down 1 fret from a minor third. Compared to a major third, which is up 1/2 step from a minor third, we go up another 1/2 step for perfect 4, and down a whole step for sus2. Okay, now as far as this chord right here, the sus4, if you bar the pinky, it becomes a D7 sus4, just FYI. That shouldn't be your default because it might not work. It won't work in most situations, but some it will sound awesome. All right, so that's just some ways that you could play a D sus chord, D sus2, D sus4. Experiment with these voicings. If you know a chord progression with a D major or minor chord, see what happens if you substitute those chords with a D sus2 or a D sus4. You might like it. It'll give you another sound. Experiment, happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.